All right, I'm going to take a moment to get a little political, just to make everyone uncomfortable, because that's what I do.
Okay.
When we think about these technologies, we can talk about the technicals, which is very important, why they work, but we also have to think about how they're used, as well as the world of tomorrow, right? And a lot of what people are worried about, and one of the reasons that people embrace Ethereum, they embrace Bitcoin, is the control you have over your money that you don't have with centralized currencies. But you also have the fears about censorship, the fears about the surveillance state that's being developed in different places without me being specific.
Yeah.
But what's important when we consider about all of these things is how these various technologies, zero knowledge proofs, and the entities that create them and manage them, what their ethics are, how they are compliant while also staying true to the communities that use them. So my question is kind of hypothetical. It comes around to a use case I can think of for zero knowledge proofs. Let's say we have this world of tomorrow. It could be the whole world. It could be a certain state. It could be whatever. But we have an individual, could be Edward Snowden, right? And he wants to give a talk to speak on the subject of government surveillance, information being released, so on and so forth. And he has to prove to someone who is going to interview him that he is who he is, but at the same time protecting himself without revealing his location, without revealing certain factors about himself that would incriminate or, put him in danger, right? So take Zcash, take any entity that might in the future create certain technologies to protect such an individual in such a situation. How do they balance a mission that protects the ethics of someone like that or creates a use case for someone like that who we as a community might identify with because they're trying to do something good, But at the same time, trying to be compliant with people who make the rules who might be doing something bad inherently. That's my question.
Okay, but I don't get the framing. I got the Snowden one, which is like talking about a use case, but you started off with the political side. So do you have like a direct question there? So I could
That's basically it. Like honestly, like this subject, a lot of people get really wrapped up in it because it becomes political, right? Because to support someone like Snowden, are you inherently against the government that might have its own interests, right? And it could be any political parties or whatever, but they support the state. It becomes kind of a question of that when you're really saying like this person should be free to share this information. This technology should be able to be used to create some kind of situation where this person can create value for others. In the same way that you have something like Tornado Cash, it has a dual use. You have people who are literally just trying to be private with their transactions. You have people who are literally stealing money from people.
Yeah, so on the political side, I think every technology will be used by both sides. Let's call them both sides. Transparency is being used maliciously. Nobody is calling the people who, annotate everything that you've done on chain to be able to sell this data or to be able to compute this data and sell it or profit from it, or is it to track you, or is it to alienate you from certain services because they notice that you made a donation to a certain cause that doesn't and automatically blacklist your wallet or something like that. So nobody is chasing after these guys, and based on the definition of the other guys, they're also bad guys. So I think every tech would be used by the two sides effectively. But one of the most important parts of ZK is that you could do something called selective disclosure. So you don't necessarily have to be fully private or hand-on. I think it just gives you the right to be able to disclose, to be able to make the decision to disclose what you want to disclose. Not just to, say for example, now going into the use case, if Snowden or any other person wants to prove that they are who they are, there are so many means aside. I don't want to go into government because it might not be related across all cases. It could be voice, or they could annotate their voice on chain, create a PGP key for their voice. It could be based on the sound spectrums and all of that. And it could be their iris, like Word ID. It could be anything. So the point is to be able to, I think, but the most general one is like your passport or your IDs. And I think even if we want to use passports, if it's applicable in this case, there's ZK passports, for example. You could take your phone, install the app, just tap your passports to the back, put some particular information that you want to share, and they get to see only the information you share. They don't get to see the color of your passports. They don't get to see your picture on the passport if you don't want them to see it. They don't get to see your date of birth if only what you want to show them is your ISSR or OOR.
Or maybe your
number.
Location when you submit the GPS or the passport,
so,
yes.
So they don't get to be able to, you only choose what, but they know there's an attestation on the passport that means it's valid. So, and that's one. There's your iris. If you use the World ID Hub, I have personal beef with them, but that doesn't matter. It's a great step. If you use that to scan your iris, you do proof of personhood, and it is encrypted on chain, and there's a hash key that shows that this is you. And anywhere you put this hash key, they can only verify this is you. They can't actually see your eyes color or your whatever. Do you understand? They only get to see that particular set of information. So I think selective disclosure is also, so if you don't want to be, and then there are a lot of products. There's privacy pools. They have, they are the good guys of Tornado Cash. So they have privacy compliance features, not directly linking to the government, just based on your wallet transactions with particular addresses that has been indexed. And if you want to use them, good. If you want to literally fork Tornado Cash right now, create an instance by yourself and send a transaction to somebody, good for you. So like, I think that's also the beauty of the blockchain and beauty of privacy. Everyone gets to decide how they want to use it. Everyone gets to decide which product they want to use. I wouldn't support using a product that's not open source, because that's when they could be, they could claim things on their website and they're doing opposite. So far it's open source, so far I don't even care about the founders most of the times. I have opposite beliefs with the founders most of the times, but I can see their code, I can audit their code, I can see the product itself, I know it does what I want it to do for me, then I'm fine with it. So yeah, I think, so going back to the political side, people would use everything people could use microphone to harm someone. People could use it to speak. People could wear shirts to protect themselves. People could, you could. So there's always going to be two sides of it. It just, I think, one of the most important parts, which is giving the decisions for your personal data. Privacy is a right. Like, it's not just a property, it's not a feature rather. And you having the decision, you having the ability to be able to decide who gets to see this data or who doesn't get to see it. It's a very, very important part, and that's the role ZK is playing.
I appreciate that answer, and also bringing it back to what you said as well about, you may not know who someone is, right? Like we had that period of DeFi summer, even myself, I was like anonymous, but it's like the code speaks for itself. Yeah. There's merit behind the code, and if you don't understand the code, there's plenty of people you can trust who are also looking through this, people who audit it, so on and so forth. And there's always so many ways, even if you don't like the ethos of someone behind a particular project or something, whether it's forking the code or just realizing we're decentralized, we're bigger than our founders, right? If our founders are so egotistical that they have such a controlling interest in their communities, they're probably not the projects that they are anyway, like Zcash, which is clearly bigger than just one founder.
Exactly.
And also just to kind of clarify what you said too, it sounds essentially like what projects like Zcash and others, you're really collecting the most minimal amount of information to prove something, so you don't even have to be in that ballpark when it comes to dealing with a compliance issue where you have to choose between protecting the privacy of your user or giving information to be compliant. It sounds like you gather the least amount of information and put the user in control of what they need to verify.
Exactly, and I think one of the magic parts of ZK is the fact that I could prove ownership of a particular property, but the person I'm actually sending this data to doesn't even have access to it. It's not on their database. Do you understand? It is encrypted. They can't even decrypt it. But using proper NPCs or stuff like that, they could do computations on the encrypted data. I think that's like super beautiful.
Yeah.
It means that you don't have to rely on the founder just waking up the next day and being like, you know what, I'm sending all your data to this particular organization or this particular organization or anything. Like this set of informations are literally encrypted. You won't have the problem that happened with Coinbase, for example, where customer support leaked the data of like, millions of people, and it has been until anybody knew that, you understand, on the dark web, people are selling it. So, and yeah, I think that's one of the, the most important part, or a very, very vital part also.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I don't support centralized entities. So.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.